This is going to go up on YouTube. So, okay. We're going to go over how to build and maintain your business. Things that I learned from compliance. I got compliance on my mind. Things I learned from convention. And to be quite honest with you, I am so dadgum excited to put this into play. It is actually so simple. It irritates me like that much. So before we dive into that, I kind of want to share something with you guys. I felt really led to talk a little bit about this. So hopefully this speaks to someone in here that needed to hear it. But I know that everyone has a hard time with building a business or maintaining their business because we all get discouraged at times. We all want to quit. We all, just want to throw in the towel and be like, this is so frustrating. I'm over it. And if you were on my leaders call, I talked a little bit about, the passions that God has placed on our heart and that he is going to equip us to be able to fulfill those passions. So it's just a matter of your brain understanding that that's actually going to happen. But if you think about it, there is a risk into stepping out and living the life God has called us into anyways. So it's just a matter of, are you going to be bold enough to step into it if there's some resistance and obstacles that come your way? And are you going to have enough faith to overcome it? It's kind of, have you guys seen the movie Field of Dreams? Do y'all remember that? Okay. So has anybody gone to Trinity? Anybody in here go to Trinity Fellowship? Okay. So this is going to be new for y'all guys. But in Field of Dreams, there's this guy who has a farmer's field and he builds, baby just woke up and daddy walked out. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so in Field of Dreams, you have a farmer that he has always had baseball as a passion on his heart, and they were very successful with their farm, and he had a family and everything, and, it was put on his heart to build this baseball field in the middle of his field. So it doesn't make sense to destroy part of your crop to build something that's been placed on your heart that God was calling you to do. And whenever they built it, it cost them a lot of money, and they almost broke even just even building it. So there wasn't any income coming in the first few months because, he spent all of his money building that field. But you think about it, like, how crazy does it sound to build a baseball field in a farm, like in a field? That sounds absolutely crazy. But then how crazy does it sound that God is calling you to network marketing? Like, think about how other people are perceiving it. Like, it sounds absolutely insane to some people that God would put the passion on your heart for network marketing or for helping people come out of, health crisis with a product that isn't on the shelf at Walmart or something that, doctors aren't prescribing. So it's kind of crazy to me. It really just spoke to me. And the guy went all in to build his dream. Like, no one else can see it except for him. And it's just like you're called by God to do extraordinary things. Like, faith is the assurance of things hoped for and not seen. So faith is rooted in complete confidence in knowing in God and stepping into the unknown. We can live the dream that God has. We cannot live the dream that God has for us without stepping out in faith. So it's just like Noah. God told Noah that there was going to be a flood. And I am 100% certain that not one single person believed him because it had never rained on the earth. And it's just kind of like, Noah chose to believe. He spent 100 years building that boat on the faith that, God was telling him, like, it was going to rain, and he put it on his heart, and he did it, and he came out, right, like, okay, thanks. So it took faith and courage for him to live the dream God had called for him. So whenever we step out in faith, it takes the focus off of our problems and on the light God is shining onto our hearts. And, God may be leading you into something, and if he is, then you need to go for it. Because, like I said, people may see It's kind of like, Noah. So it never rained, and God was telling him to build this boat. Everybody thought he was crazy. But it's kind of like people seeing network marketing. Like, they don't see people being successful or really changing lives with it or anything, but you know in your heart that you are called and destined to do great things. And you are, because you wouldn't be here if it wasn't put on your heart to do so. Going back to the Field of Dreams thing right quick, people told him, you have no money. You have a stack of bills that the farm won't pay because of the baseball field. And the guy had the choice to either sell his farm and get his family out of debt, or continue on with the calling of what God put on his life, and just trusted God that he was going to maintain, a financial status to be able to support his family and everything. And he chose to stick with his faith and not bail out, and God showed up. So everything worked out. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. It was really on my heart to do so. And now we can go into how to maintain your ambassadors. Let me get to my PowerPoint. There it is. And let me get back to you and share my screen. Share screen. Can you guys see it? I can't see you, so someone unmute yourself and let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know why the stupid thing always says click to edit the master subtitle. I can never get that stuff off, so I apologize for that. So growing your team, training new ambassadors with success kits. So whenever I joined, I didn't have a success kit. We had absolutely nothing like that. We just had team pages and things like that. And so I absolutely purchased one at convention just because of what we're about to go over. If you do not have a success kit, you will want to buy one. So training your new ambassador is as easy as 1, 2, 3. And this is also what maintains them, because it doesn't overwhelm them with things, which was awesome. I'm kind of obsessed with this. So number 1, connect with your new ambassador. So in order to connect with your ambassador, it means you need to connect with your sponsor. Once they pay the $34.95, get them on. Just start diving deep with them. Dig in and figure out who they are. Facebook will actually tell you a lot about them, so you can go and stalk them as much as you can. And don't be afraid to ask them what they need or what they want. They'll tell you. So, for example, my newest girl, she joined, and I asked her, I'm like, okay, well, what do you need from this? Like, what are your goals? And she needs $500 a month, and she wants her products paid for on top of that $500. So I already know what her goals are. I write them down, and I remember to check in with her about those goals and hold her accountable for them. So whenever you first get a person and they sign $34.95, send them a welcome letter. Every single one of you guys, if you're my direct level 1, you had received a welcome letter. Sorry, I just went in a lot. Okay, connect with your new master. Okay, welcome email. There we go. The welcome, it wasn't actually an email, but it was a Facebook direct message that I sent you guys, and it goes into detail of, here are your uplines. Welcome to the team. I'm so excited to have you. Here is, I'm going to add you to the team pages and explain what the team pages are, and just get them a little bit more used to the team and how we run things and who people are and things like that. And then walk them through the back office, the information about pages you've added them to and who the admins are of those team pages, and then do a 3-way call with that person and your sponsor. I think I've only done maybe 2 three-way calls with my downlines, but every single person that I add to my level one, I've always done a three-way call. Well, I say always. I don't think Brittany, I don't remember if we did one with you. We didn't start implementing it until, I want to say, January, but it has been amazing. What a three-way call does for the other person is, that person's joining you, so they already know your story. And whenever you add another person on who is there to support and push them on and be their power partner, it gives them a whole lot more motivation and a whole lot more excited and like enthusiasticness, if that's even a word. But it really does help out a lot. So three-way calls are super important. And then you're going to look through the elements of their success kit. And we'll go into that a little bit later. But whenever you have, whoa, okay, upload and share their story. My notes are like kind of messed up with this slideshow, so give me 1 second. Okay, well, I'm just not going to go off of my notes on this part, but you need to have them state their why. Like, why do they want to do this business? And it's not a scratch the surface of, oh, I just need to bring in some extra money. Their why needs to make them cry. So if they just say, I just need to bring in some extra money, dig in deeper and say, okay, well, what does that look like for you and your family? Like, what does an extra $200 look like for you? What does it do for y'all? Are you able to go buy some extra groceries? Are you able to make a little out of town trip with that? Are you able to pay some extra bills off that you haven't been able to do that? Just, you want to dig so deep into their core where they understand exactly why they joined this business. And then set their business goals. So it'd be short term and then long term. With my business goals, I go over people with, okay, so you're telling me you want to go silver within the next 2 months. So that's a great time frame. It's reasonable. It's realistic. So within the first 2 weeks, here's what we need to do. And I set those goals up for them. And then, the next 30 days and the next 60 days and stuff like that. So you need to sit down and let them know in detail, this is exactly what you need to do in order to get there, because these people are jumping in not knowing what they're going to do. They don't know anything about the business. They don't know anything about plexus. They don't know anything about network marketing. And I'm going to tell you 90% of the people who join your team are not ready to own their own business. They just flat out aren't. And that's where you're going to have to be that emotional, strong, foundational support for them, because they don't know what to do. They haven't attended classes and went to school for stuff like this. So this is where the sponsor steps in and really holds their hand through a lot of things. They need to make their Frank's list. Frank's list is friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighborhood, kids, connections, and service organizations. You never know who might be interested in what Plexus has to offer, so write down anyone you can think of. The benefit of making your list and adding to it is that you'll always have people to talk with about the magic of Plexus. I don't know about you guys, but I do know a few about you guys, but I've been in the company for 1.5 years. And there was a time where I exhausted my whole entire Frank's list. I had already messaged everyone. And when you're at this point in your business where you feel like you've exhausted all options, that's when you need to go out and start making new friends. I got involved with the Junior League of Amarillo, and I'm also involved in other groups around Amarillo. So I'm expanding my network so I can keep adding to that list. And once you get to the end of that list, you revisit right back up to the top and contact them all over again. Set up 3 face-to-face gatherings. So what that is like a sip and see or opportunity brochure. Remember to post your news on social media type thing, and just walk them through how to tell everyone that they're a Plexus ambassador. If you're not able to meet up with them, there's Zoom, there's phone call, there's other things, but face-to-face gatherings usually work a whole lot better because people know that you genuinely are investing time in them. And, if you're walking through the back office with them, face-to-face is the way to go. Events are huge. Planning and holding an event is one of the most important income producing activities you can do in this business. Whenever I held my very first sip and see, I wasn't really expecting people to come, honestly, because we growing up had a hard time getting people just to even come to birthday parties. And so I'm like, there's no one that's going to come to this business opportunity that I had, because people are tired of hearing about business opportunities. But I followed up with them religiously, and every single person came and every single person signed up except for one. And that one took me a few months, but now she's an ambassador of mine. So events are huge. Convention, leaders retreats, Super Saturday, things like that I cannot stress to you. God, I feel like it's more important than sip and seas and stuff, but the things that you learn to build your business is mind-blowing. And you just get the motivation and the kick in the butt of okay, this is exactly what I needed. Customer care is the utmost to this company. We are calling it customer care and not customer service. It's a mind shift. You are caring for your customers and working with them to create a healthier lifestyle. You are not servicing them. That's what a salesperson does. So with customer care, what that means is whenever your person signs up as either a customer or an ambassador, you're watching their tracking status so that they don't have to come to you and say, hey, I haven't received my products yet. And it's been 2 weeks when you could have noticed on the second day that it should have been there, or the third day. And so you can call into customer service and be an advocate for them so that they don't have to deal with any of that stuff. You should make it as easy as possible for your newbies. And number 3, you have to build belief. Belief doesn't come from success. Success comes from belief. If you don't believe in the company, if you don't believe in yourself, and if you don't believe in the products, then your ambassadors are going to follow everything that you do. You have to have passion for what you're doing. You have to have belief in the company, like I said, products and yourself. Be a product of the product. We are a product-driven company. Instill in them a love of the products and a desire to know more about them. How to build belief in the business is you go to events. It's really that simple. And if there are no events around, then you can make up your own, just like I had to. So being a product of the product. And this one right here, I thought it was a really cool picture. This is actually headquarters. And every Friday, Alec goes around and Alec and Taro, you'll see Taro in the top picture, but they go around with that wheel, and to each cubicle, each person gets to, play it, and they can get $100 or $200 or $500 or extra product or Plexus swag or a day off or, whatever. So I thought it was so freaking cool that our company makes it so much fun for the employees who are taking care of us. I just kind of wanted to share that with you. Diamond documentaries build belief. If you guys have never sent a diamond document to anyone that's being discouraged or whatever, I would go to YouTube and look up some diamonds and figure out which ones work best with your people that are feeling discouraged, or you can actually send them to your prospects as well. So if you have a teacher that is, man, I'm not feeling the teaching job anymore, I just kind of want to look for something else, you can go look up a teacher who was able to retire, which Brooke Smith, but she's not a diamond yet. She just retired from teaching for 15 years. And opportunity calls. that's another way of staying connected. And like we said, connection builds belief. So online events do the same. Encourage your newbies to come to these. Opportunity calls do exactly what Sip and Sees pretty much do, except for they don't have to leave their home if they're uncomfortable with doing that. So I would, if you send a diamond documentary or an opportunity call, what I would do is message them and say, listen to this diamond and give them homework. Say, hey, I heard you're not feeling so good. Listen to this and tell me later how you feel like how they were able to be successful with it. Additional ideas and resources for training. Facebook, obviously. With the training, we're going to keep this short and sweet, but I'm going to stick with doing the success kits, and I'll go into more detail of how to be able to train your newbie with the success kit. So okay, we're not going to go over that part right there. Colby, will you please stop? I'm recording this. Stop. My husband is being ridiculous, as always. Okay. I want to go over with you guys about events and how to block objections right quick. So there's a lot of different ways to share Plexus. Facebook is obviously a free and quick way, and most people aren't prepared to do a face-to-face meeting at first, and sometimes it's easier just to hide behind a computer. And a Plexus coming out post is huge. A lot of people actually fear that. So you want to be able to take the fear out of it when they say, I don't want to post until I have a story. People aren't fearful about telling people about their building businesses, like small businesses. So like, Texas Tea, whenever they joined, people weren't afraid, the owners weren't afraid to get out there and be like, hey, come to my shop, come support my business, come buy my tea. It doesn't scare people to do things like that. But it scares people for some reason whenever they pay such a small amount, such as $34.95, instead of getting a loan out for, $500,000. They still need the new opening celebration just as much as, Belmar Bakery did for their second location. Initial investment price, it doesn't matter. In my eyes, it doesn't matter, but it matters to the person who invested. Guys, I don't get it. Like, why is $34.95 more scary than, $500,000? I've been on both sides, not the $500,000 though, but taking out a very large loan and having to pay that back from building a business, that was more scary than my Plexus business. But anyways, initial investment doesn't matter. So I tell them, let's just invite people onto your journey. Take a photo of you with your pink drink or your success kit. I was watching my friend, she was super excited about starting her journey, and the way that she worded it was a little off, and so wording is super important that you need to teach people. So you don't want to make it like this long life story. It should just be simple to the point, like, hey guys, I just wanted to share my new journey with you. I would absolutely love for you to jump on board with me. Something simple like that, to where people are like, hey, what are you doing? Or what new journey do you people ask questions when you don't say Plexus. But we have 20-year-olds selling wrinkle cream and killing it. Like, what 20-year-old actually needs wrinkle cream? I didn't, and I still don't. But we have, like, in the Fields one, there are like 20-year-olds who are top of the company selling anti-wrinkle cream because they get it though. Like, they understand that just because their friends aren't going to invest in it, they already know the network marketing that is, and it's the older people, and that's who they target. So help them decipher who they need to target and what their niche is. Once they make their first post, tell them to post regular. So we all know this. Don't really have to go into too much detail, because I think you all guys know about, buffer and how many times to post. So it's 3 posts, 3 personal posts to 1 Plexus post. And generate traffic, such as asking simple things like, hey, what's y'all's favorite crock pot recipes? Or, hey, what's a nice place to go on for a date night? Something simple like that. And then also there's, I use this all the time, but there's a save feature. Have you guys noticed that? Like, I'm sure that you haven't. I just feel really dumb asking you guys that. But
I have so many deals saved.
I do too. I do the same exact thing. So I save a ton of posts, and then whenever I find time, I just go add them to Buffer. But what Jen Hawkins does, which is Celeste's upline, she actually made a secret group where nobody else can get in, and you have to have 2 people when you add a group, so she added her husband. But she goes in there and she just posts everything Plexus, and that's where she goes and gets all of her information instead of saving the posts like I do. But everything is just as easy as copy and paste now. Do a new announcement email about you're starting your business. So not just Facebook, people have Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, and whoever is in that group, send everyone a message saying, hey, I just started this business and want to tell you a little bit about it, and I would love for you to watch my journey. Or just say, hey, y'all, I joined a health and wellness business. It helps with blah, 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 blah. If you know of anyone who would benefit from it, I would appreciate it if you brought them my way. I actually like that one better. So I think that, because we all get objections, all of us. Oh, going back to the Frank's list, the prospecting, that's really big. So if they say that they can't think of people, then tell them to think about, like, who do you know that has school loans to pay? Or who do you see at the gym? Who do you know that has a strong network marketing base, like a large network of friends? Or do you know the teller at your bank? And once they start making their list, have them circle the top 20. They will be the people who you first approach about anything. And it doesn't always have to be about Plexus the very first time whenever you message them or call them or whatever. So tell them about it whenever you see them. One thing that I missed out on whenever I first started is I wasn't intentional of who I reached out to. And they stress the importance of being very intentional and tell them why you think they would be great at the business. And I didn't do that. Whenever I messaged people, I told them how great I thought the business was and what it did for me, which is great. You want to tell people what it's done for you. You want to tell them your story, but you also want to build them up and let them know that you were genuinely thinking about them. You genuinely thought, like, you would be amazing at this, and there's no way that you wouldn't make it to the top with this company. There's just not. And people like to hear stuff like that. I know I would have if I was approached. But I think that's all that I'm going to cover today because we went over a lot. I want to go over about a lot of stuff, so I'll do a lot of convention Zooms. But I'm going to leave this open. I'm going to stop the recording, and I will leave this open for